in the background.
Okay, I'm at 6807 Dawson Road in Cincinnati, Ohio, doing a sanitary lateral inspection. This is a house that is being sold, but they just want to get a look at the condition of the line, so they know what's going on. Based off the age of the house, should be cast iron above ground and clay once it exits. The most common thing we find in the old lines, the old clay lines, is tree roots. So just trying to get a look at the cast iron there, make sure it's not, make sure it's in good shape. This does look open. It's got a little bit of channeling in the bottom, but that's common. Cast iron will eventually rust. That's what it does. It's the nature of the material. And you can't really tell how thin or thick the pipe walls are. I'm just looking for functionality at this point. There is a floor clean out also. This is right around in here. So if I need to, I may have to make a move. I'm going from the stack in the center rear of the basement if you were facing the house from the front. And it goes out the rear right corner of the basement. So we're just now leaving the house. Little tiny bit of root intrusion. Not much. See a little bit of remnants. Again, it's very common. It's about I'd say about 80 to 90% of all the lines, all the clay lines I do, have some form of root intrusion. But the only time they don't is if there are no trees around. The reason that happens is that with age you have a lot of connections. You have like a connection here, and then the pipe lengths are usually only about 3 feet, and then you have another connection, and then after 3 to 4 feet, and then after that, after years of it being in the ground, a lot of times the packing shrinks or something at those connections, and it just allows a little bit of room for some root intrusion. They get in the little finger roots, and as long as they're taken care of, it's just regular maintenance that would be needed to make sure that it doesn't cause any issues. So far the line looks really good. Wide open. And I'm not really sure how long this is. I know the line goes out the rear and goes out over the hill. But I only have about 150 feet of stick here, and normally there would be another clean out along the way. But if not, we are limited to about 150 feet. But most of this looks like it's wide open. I've only seen a couple spots with any evidence of root intrusion. And, the line looks like it's in really good shape structurally. See how far we are out, about 93 to 94 feet here. see some form of a clean out or access here. This may be it right here. See if I can get a little closer here to see if I can check this out. Can't tell if that's a connection or what that is. I'm going to push up a little bit closer, see if we can get a better look at it. Usually there's cleanouts about every 100 feet or so. Looks like there's a couple cracks in the line, but it's all holding shape. There's no like open break or anything in the line. It's just you're just seeing the cracks in the clay, but it is actually keeping shape, so it's not causing any obstructions or any problems with flow. And it looks like I'm coming up on a little bit of an offset in the connection, which is not abnormal. It looks like it's turning down, and the downstream side is lower than the upstream side, which is what you want, so that it doesn't obstruct flow. You always want the water to go downhill, and looks like that's what these are. These connections are. This must be dropping down the hill. You can look in the bottom left-hand corner, and you can see that we are dropping at about a 16 to 17 degree pitch, so that is a pretty big angle. Sewers roughly need about a 1% grade. It's about 1/8 of an inch per foot, which is roughly a foot every 100 feet or a foot every 96 feet of length. You need a foot of drop. And so 17% is a pretty good grade. The problem here is that I haven't seen any other access. You can see the root intrusion, but I don't know how far back the main is, and I am out of stick here. So we have inspected roughly 150 feet of pipe, and so I'm going to pause the video for a minute and see if I can maybe find out where we are. But it does go down into the woods, but I'm going to pause the video. I'm going to get a locate, and then I'm going to pull back, see if we can find access and find out exactly where this thing runs and where the main is. Alright, so we're out, like I said, 150 feet. There's probably still another 50 feet to the main. I know it's back there at the creek. We're going to look for another access point on the way back. Usually there's a clean out about every 100 feet or so. The footage counter is basically the rotation of the drum, so it says 145, but I know there's 150 feet on the reel, so we're going to pull back, take another look, and probably at about 100 foot or so I will put a mark out there with a flag, just for reference, to show where it's running, and it would be just before it exits. Just before it enters the wood. It's only about 3 foot deep where it is now, which is good. And the line does look open. It obviously will need continued maintenance because of the root intrusion, but it's very normal for a house of this age and material. So that's what I was hoping to find, indication of an access point along the way. If you're looking on the top of the pipe and you see a pipe opening, that would be connection that would give us access to be able to do the other half of the line. A lot of times, like I said, normal distance between clean outs is about 100 feet or so. But you know, based off the age of the house and the county, that's not always the case. So you can see this is where the line I was talking about before, where it's dropping. You can see right there, we're at a 20 degree at that lip. So there's a little bit of shifting going on at the connections, but it's not obstructing flow at all. Pretty normal for, again, these are pretty normal things for a sewer line of this age of material as it's dropping down the hill. Just hoping to find another access point, be able to give us an opportunity to inspect the remainder of the line, because it is open and flowing. It's not too surprising with clay, though, to not find a clean out. Coming up here about 90 feet or so, I'm going to go ahead and get a locate, and that will be based off of me walking it off. That'll be right around where the edge of the woods is right about here, I believe. So I'm going to pause the video again. I'm going to get a locate, and we're going to mark it just for reference to show where it is and how deep it is at this point. Alright, so the line is about 2'11" deep to the invert out there, so about 2'5", 2'6" to the top of the pipe. This is 6-inch clay. And again, it would be nice to have another access because we are limited here, obviously, but the line looks great. It is open and flowing. And there was a recent cleaning done on the roots, and it all was done very well. But I would recommend keeping up that maintenance. The line does run back through the woods and back to the creek. I believe the sewer main is right around the creek. So I did put a flag out there, just for reference. There's a flag exactly where the line is with the depth marked on it, just in case there's anybody wants to know where it is or how deep it is. That would be a good place to put a clean out, to be able to access it and be able to get to the main from there. As you can tell, the line is definitely holding shape well. It's all in good shape. There's no major root intrusion, no obstruction to flow, and actually a minimal amount of roots for where the line runs. It looks really good. Coming back into the cast iron here. This is a 4-inch cast iron. It was inserted into the 6-inch on the outside. did also walk the distance of the line, and I did not see any other visible cleanouts either. So just for reference though, there is a small swale that you can see where the line runs if you follow the back corner of the house out to the flag, and then beyond there you can actually tell where it runs right down towards the creek. But the line looked really good. It was, again, it was wide open. Structurally, the pipe is in good shape. It's holding shape and open and flowing, and no major defects or obstructions to flow. So that'll end the inspection at 6807 Dawson Road in Madeira, Cincinnati, Ohio.